Hey, it's not working, guys. What's going on? What's going on? Let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, December 11th, and we are live. I said live with episode number 15 of the Mindless Meanderings. I'm Jesse Fries, coming to you from Central Texas, where I just learned that the city that I roughly live in, Austin, is ranked number 53rd in the best global cities in the world. Yeah, we're rocking it, baby.
And I'm Jamin Fries, coming at you from eastern Kansas, where not much is going on. We're at 30 degrees out. The Kansas City Chiefs won again. It's a very close game, though. But
As always.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw some things on Twitter about how the reason that the Chiefs are winning because they're praying before and after the game and stuff like that.
Doesn't every team?
Almost every team has at least a decent group of people that does that.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Pretty
much every team has that. Yeah.
They were basically trying to say that all the other teams should get closer to God because the Chiefs are close to God and they're winning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yep, that it is.
Well, let's talk about the hot topic right now.
Oh, absolutely.
This UHC, United Healthcare CEO, being shot, killed in New York City. That's a bit crazy.
Oh, yeah. Very crazy.
Yeah, it looks like this guy was just pissed off at United Healthcare for being denied claims. It seems to be the current most popular opinion on what's going on.
Yeah.
And I ran across this one article. It's in the Daily Mail, a UK paper. And it says that their insurance plans in 2023 dismissed every 3 claims. So they denied a third of all their claims.
Well, that's not surprising. I mean, that's a lot of health insurance companies. They'll deny a lot of the big claims and only let the little ones through.
Right. But this is like higher than most. I saw one graphic where it was like, it was the highest pretty much out of all the big companies, insurance companies, by far. And then not only that, apparently they had implemented an AI back in like 2019, and it had a denial rate of 90%. 90%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's not really surprising that the shooter actually put deny, defend, and depose, or in whatever order on the shell casings. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's something that every insurance company out there, they, of course, the more claims that they pay out on, the less money that they make.
Yep.
And
but this guy, this company really, it's the quintessential evil insurance company in movies. It's like they actually do it. It's not just this would be a great plot line. This is like they actually do it.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, a lot of there were a good number of those policies actually came from this CEO.
Right.
He was very influential in getting those policies to running, before he was CEO and up and through. So, I mean, it's bad that somebody did this.
Oh, yeah, completely. You shouldn't commit murder, of course.
No, there are much better ways to deal with it, although the better ways that everyone is suggesting are just full of crap. They're saying, no, you should go through politics. You should go to your senators and tell them about it and let them make laws against it. The government isn't going to make a law against a company that's paying them shit tons of money.
Yep. Yep.
I
They
mean,
won't.
that's just
Plain
the
and
way
simple.
it works.
Yeah. It's like this is what happens when it just gets so bad. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
our society right now is getting to the point where people are getting fed up with crap.
Yep. Yep. Well, and
Uh,
it's not just that they're getting fed up with this. It's just the entire culture of the U.S. lately has been going this way of violence. I mean, now it tends to be on more on one side than the other.
uh-huh.
Yeah, but I mean, any extremist will get violent. I mean, we've had so many riots and stuff like that have happened in the last 10 years that, I mean, yeah, it's like the dam broke and it's not going to get fixed anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not anytime soon. Basically, once violence starts, then it keeps kind of goes from there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it, it's like way back in the '90s and everything like that. I was in high school, like mid '90s, and
Hmm.
it's everybody knew that crap would happen, and we had talked about it in school, like when somebody just going to shoot up a school because of they're bullied or whatnot. And then the school
Yeah.
shootings before Columbine happened, and like Paducah and whatnot, and
Yeah.
then Columbine happened. And it's just
Yeah. Yeah. No,
completely horrible. Never
absolutely.
should
Yeah.
happen. But there's only so much a society can take
Yeah.
until it breaks. And
Yeah.
it,
Absolutely.
it was like, what was it? Right after this, what was it? The Blue Cross Blue Shield in Connecticut or something like that. They were gonna make it so that they weren't going to pay for anesthesia after a certain amount of time in surgery.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And like they just go, okay, well, we're not paying for it anymore. Like 3 hours into the surgery, still got 5 hours to go. Hey, we're not paying for it
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah, it's like, how does that even make sense? I don't even know how that can make sense.
No,
Uh,
it can't. I mean, unless they were like, well, you just chose a bad doctor because the national average time for duration for this kind of procedure is this, and your guys going 10 hours over. We
yeah,
don't want to pay for that extra 10 hours.
but now they're not going to do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they just decided not to do it just right after this,
I
like
wonder
the day after.
why.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah. I don't condone what he
Oh,
did
yeah.
by any stretch of the imagination.
Yep.
But yeah, people have been getting fucked over by these people all the time. So it's not too surprising that somebody actually gets fed up with it and
Yeah.
does something about
Yeah.
it. But I must say, he's one of the best looking people assassins that I've ever seen. Seriously, this guy is ripped. He's a beautiful
Well,
guy.
yeah.
He really is.
The thing is, though, is that, I mean, I've been looking at a lot of stuff, and I don't know. I don't think he was the guy. If what I'm seeing is right,
Right.
because
Yeah.
they've got some pictures, close-ups of the shooter,
Right.
and his eyebrows are normal. They're they've got a pretty good distance between them, like most people do. But this guy's basically got a unibrow almost.
Well, it's pretty close. I saw the same. I saw the same thing that you were viewing, and then now I'm just looking at this article, the one that I was talking about on the Daily
Yeah.
Mail, and
Yeah.
I think it was photoshopped. I think that one that they're using has been photoshopped because they
That
seem pretty
wouldn't
close
surprise me
together.
too much.
Yeah. They look pretty close together on
Okay.
these, so it's
Yeah, well, I mean, any
photoshopped.
time any time a McDonald's employee can identify someone by their eyebrows and the way that their nose looks, and
Yeah.
that's how they got. I mean, I don't know. It just, plus, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there talking about the connection with the with the United Healthcare, the UHC CEO, and
Uh,
Pelosi.
yep.
Um, Supposedly, according to some people, he was supposed to testify against her in a criminal insider trading case.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was in trouble. UHC was in trouble and everything like that. The FBI were investigating them uh, for quite a few different things.
Yeah,
But the funniest
yeah,
thing, one of the funniest things about this to me was, you know how people say, "Oh, too soon," you know.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God, it was never too soon for these people. It's like these memes. I
No,
swear to
no,
God,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and I copy pasted it. Let's see, it was like it was crazy. It's like there was this the Bugs Bunny one. It was like Wabbit season, duck season, Wabbit season, duck season, CEO season. It's like, and
Yeah,
then and then when they found out his name was Luigi, oh Jesus Christ! Then they really brought out Luigi from
oh
Mario.
yeah. Yep, the
You know,
Mario.
it's
Yep, the Mario stuff. Yep.
yeah.
I saw one that was that had the that had a picture that had a characterization of the shooter shooting the CEO,
Uh-huh.
and it said, "This is murder." Underneath it, file claim denied. This is also murder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's so many
Uh,
of those memes are there. You know, it was never too soon. It was like the minute
oh
it
yeah,
got
no,
out, people were making
yeah.
memes about it, and I've never seen that about a murder before. Not
Oh no, no, either have
once.
I. No.
Which kind
I
of
just it
shows
just
you
goes to
how
show you how much people just dislike either the industry or that company in and of itself.
well, just yeah, insurance industry, insurance CEO. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was. I don't think it was anything else but that.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, yeah, it was crazy. It was
Yep.
crazy.
Absolutely. Uh,
Okay. Let's see here. What else you got?
well, sticking with New York,
Uh huh.
um, the one kind of political thing here. Um, the the shit.
Well, well,
Um,
while you try to figure that out, we could talk about Daniel Penny as well. The guy that
yeah,
was
yeah.
acquitted for criminally negligent homicide. If you guys don't remember, this is the guy that choked out the one black guy on the subway because he was acting odd and everything like that, and so to help other people,
Mhm.
he put him in a chokehold. Unfortunately, the other guy died, and so he was put on trial and everything like that. There were two charges against him: manslaughter, and then the criminally negligent homicide. The funny bit I saw there was that when with the manslaughter charge, the that came back as a hung jury. They couldn't actually decide that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And per the original instructions, the judge was supposed to like not do anything about that and just basically it would be hung jury and there you go. But apparently he let the other charge go through and have the jury decide it. Anyways,
Yep.
beyond his original instructions. And then they just acquitted him of that one. They just said, yeah, no, he didn't do that. So,
Well, my understanding is that the prosecuting attorney dropped the manslaughter charges,
yes. It was, yeah, it was
and
dismissed. Yeah.
it's like, yeah. Well, as soon as those charges got dropped, like half an hour later, the jury comes back with their decision.
Yep. Yeah. So it was a bit odd.
Yeah,
The father of the guy that died, he says he's planning on doing like a civil suit against him.
yeah.
Fine and dandy, but I don't know what you. This guy isn't a rich guy. He's just a military guy. That's all he is. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're not going to get anything out of him. But at least, I can understand it, and from one side, from the family side,
Right.
that even if you can't get something criminal, then just the what is it called, the I can't remember exactly what it's called in legal terms, but basically the wrongful death of this
Right.
guy.
Wrongful death. Yep. Yep. Yep.
At least they can get that. At least they'll try to get that pinned on him, because that'll give the family a little bit of comfort. It won't doesn't put the guy behind in jail. Doesn't really give the family anything. But at least they'll know that someone out there actually cared about their kid.
Yeah, I think that's. I
It's the
think
way
that's
that
why
they're
they're
thinking
doing it.
about
But
it, I think.
it's.
Yeah. But
He didn't
I mean,
mean
if
to
if
do it.
somebody
See,
if
that's the
somebody
thing. It's like he was
no,
trying to
no,
help,
yeah,
and it just went wrong. And it's like
yeah,
sometimes you just have to be okay with that. It's like if your kid
yeah,
is messing up, sometimes you can
yeah.
feel everything, of course, but
Oh yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
it's just the way things are, unfortunately. So
yeah,
it's.
yeah. And
Uh,
like in many other situations, when you've got drugs involved and when you've got other stuff like
yep.
that involved, mental issues. I mean, the when Perry put him into that chokehold, he didn't want to hold him in that chokehold indefinitely. But the guy kept fighting against him.
Yep.
And so, he didn't really have much choice. You've got to control the situation. And that's what he would have been trained to do in the military. So,
Yeah, military is not known for its police actions. But then again, the police had
well,
George Floyd too, so it's.
yeah, yeah. And not only that, but also the military is trained so that when you start an action, you make sure that the action is finished.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know
It's
you don't
it's.
you don't they one of the reasons that they wanted to do that, they were saying to do the manslaughter charges, because of how long he held him in the chokehold. They're
Yep.
like, the military would have trained him not to hold him in the chokehold that long. And I'm like, no, the police would train you not to hold you in a chokehold that long. As far as military training, you're holding them until they're dead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Until completely incapacitated, which a lot of times
Yeah,
is death. Yep. It's.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, the 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 military wouldn't have trained him that, okay, you can hold on for this long, but then if you go longer than that, it may cause injury to him, because the whole purpose of the military's actions is to cause harm to people.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate circumstances. No matter what, I don't think anybody's happy with the death
Yep.
or anything like that. It's
Oh yeah,
just.
no.
Yeah, yeah. But this guy was trying to help. He was more of a good Samaritan, and it just went
Yep.
wrong. So, yeah,
Oh
that's how
yeah,
I view
yeah.
it, at least. So,
Yep.
did you figure out that other New York story?
Yeah, yeah. The governor of New York, Kathy Hochul.
Yeah,
I may not be
Hochul.
pronouncing that name
I
right.
think it's Hochul.
Hochul. Okay. Okay. She is trying to get a inflation refund to some people in New York.
Inflation refund. What exactly is it? Inflation refund.
So supposedly, because inflation is so much higher,
Right.
they received a lot more money from sales tax.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And so she wants to refund the extra sales tax that they collected to people that make less than like 100 to the 300,000 for a family and 150,000 for an individual.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
But okay, I understand, but everything will go up. You're going to need that money sooner or later. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like all of
And
us.
she'd only be giving back $500 to families and $300 to individuals. So, I mean, it's not a huge amount of money. It's it's like,
Well, right,
when I read that, I was like, okay, so she's going to pay for your groceries for a week. Because this is New York, so
no, that is right. If that, yeah, you'd probably be lucky if there's that. And people on the lower end would truly appreciate it. I'm sure they would. But the people on the higher end, it's.
Oh
kind
yeah.
of.
Well, and I thought of something. Another problem with doing this
Uh huh.
is that I don't know how many. I don't know. I don't know New York State rules or anything like that. But depending on income based, how much you get and how much you're eligible for in food stamps and stuff like that.
Uh huh.
I know that when I was in Colorado, getting the same income that I get right now, I was getting over $200 in food stamps a month.
Right.
I moved to Kansas, I'm getting $23 in food stamps a month. So,
Okay.
it's because the cost of living out in Colorado is so much higher than it is here.
Right. Right.
But when you buy food with food stamps,
Uh huh.
you don't pay any sales tax.
Huh. Okay.
So a large portion of the people that would be receiving this refund never actually paid sales tax on any of their groceries.
Well, that's different. That's different. Huh. Good to know. Good to know. Hey,
Yeah.
it would still help them out, and
I mean, yeah, it would help them out, but
not for long. It's
yeah.
kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And most people are getting raises anyways to compensate for what's going on and everything like that. Of course, some don't. But then the way, unfortunately, there's always going to be the people that just don't make much money. And,
Oh, yeah.
You may get to the point, like right at first, you get a huge increase, like these fast food workers and everything like that. But sooner or later, it's going to be to where their wages are going to stay the same. Everybody's going to skyrocket over them because those are the lowest paying jobs.
Oh,
and then after inflation, they're screwed just as well as they were beforehand. So, it's...
Yep.
You could try to help things, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of wages, there's NBC News that had a story out about how the restaurants are making up for your crummy tipping.
Huh. Okay. How so? Did you read it?
Well, yeah, I did. What they're saying is that tipping has not followed the increase in tipping has not followed the same curve as inflation.
Okay.
And so the restaurants are now having to make up the difference by paying employees more.
Oh, wow. And how is it not? It's a percentage of the bill. The bill goes up, the percentage, the amount of money that they get stays the same. It goes up.
What they're saying is that some people are no longer paying the 30% tip that's recommended.
Nobody pays the fucking 30% tip. What is this 30% crap? I saw this too. I saw this thing too, where it's like, oh yeah, you need to pay 30% tip. Hell no, I've never paid a 30% tip.
Yeah,
it's a 15 if it's decent service. It's 20 if it's great service. 25 if you're really hot. You know.
I'll go with the 25 if you're really hot. I'll do that one.
But that's what it is. It's not. Yeah. There's no 30% tip automatically. I saw a meme going, if you can't afford to move the decimal point one place over, so that's 10%. Now times that by 3, and I'm like going, no, there's no way in hell that I would do that. That anybody I know would do that. I know you're a cheapskate, Jamin, and don't tip at all. But it's there's no way.
I don't tip at all.
I know
tip based on service.
But in general, not at all.
Service, you're getting a tip.
In general, not at all.
In general,
anyway, yeah. We talked about it last time.
Yep.
But yeah, it's. I don't understand that 30%. There's no way. Whoever got it in these people's heads that you can make 30%?
Yeah.
Who?
I don't understand it. I mean, it's insane. It's not a who, it's a what. You look at a lot of the basically anywhere that they have a percentage scale, right. 5%, 10%, 15%, but it's what it used to be. Now it's like 15%, 20%, 30% is what these businesses recommend tipping.
I rarely ever see 15% anymore. Now it usually
Yeah.
starts at about 17 to 18%.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it goes up from there. And I'm like going, no. So sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
a lot of times it's like places I don't tip anyway. So I say, I
Right.
decline or anything like that. Otherwise, I go into custom if I can. See, the custom thing
Yep.
is not an easy thing to do either.
Oh,
They
no,
don't
it's
make that
not.
an
No.
easy thing to do.
No.
So, but a lot of times I'll just do custom, put in about 15% because that's usually what I do is 15%, and I go
Yep.
about my life. This is what I've always done. I've
Yep.
always done 15%, plain and simple. Unless if
Yeah.
you suck at it, then I might give you some pennies
Yeah.
in a water jar,
Yep.
that sort of thing. But you really have to suck for that, like the worst of the worst. You know, it's like I've maybe done that once in my life or twice, but it's generally it's
You mean
15%.
you mean like the service that we always used to get at the restaurant that shall remain unnamed anytime Dad was there with us?
Possibly, I can't remember what that one was. You'll have to. Yeah, no, I don't remember that, but I remember kind of.
Starts with a P.
Yeah, I'm not hitting anything, dude. Anyways.
Family restaurant.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. They just hated him for some reason.
We could never go there with Dad.
Yeah.
The food would always be cooked wrong. The waiters were all. It would take forever to get our order taken.
Yep.
But only when we were with Dad.
Only were He was bad luck. They saw him and goes out.
Yeah. According to Mom, that has changed now. That they no longer get. It's no longer bad to have Dad along there. But
well, that's good. That's good. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Okay, now just a couple Trump things that I've kind of noticed. So Charlemagne the God,
Okay.
Do you know who he is?
No.
He's like a radio host around New York City, I believe. He's very popular. Okay. He talks to the black community is what he does.
Okay.
And he is completely anti-Trump and everything like that generally. But he himself has said that Democrats need to kind of just focus on his policies and not just attack Trump. Because apparently Gavin Newsom, the California governor, he said that he's going to make California Trump-proof. So anything that Trump does, he's going to make sure that California is Trump-proof. I don't know how that's possible.
Yep.
But Charlemagne, he said, let's see, the quote is, if there's policies that you don't like that Trump may enact, make it about that. Don't make it about the person. Plain and simple. Let's stop the person stuff that has been going on for so long.
I think that's one of the biggest problems with politics now is they no longer talk about the issues. They no longer talk about policy. Instead, they just attack the person all the time. Yeah, and it happens on both sides. I mean, it's not just the liberals that do that. It's politics is no longer seems to be about what you can do for the country. It's more about what you've done in the past.
Yep.
And what they can make up that you're going to do in the future.
Yep. And to go along with that, the senator from Pennsylvania, John Fetterman, you remember him?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's the guy that had the stroke. Yeah. So after he had the stroke and everything like that, Republicans hated him and said, "Why is he here? He's he's not functional." Yada yada yada. You remember all that, right?
Yep.
Well, now he's coming back, and now he's like saying that Trump needs to be pardoned in the New York City case. Just basically because and he said it's politically motivated. We all know it's politically motivated, so we just need to get that one cleared up. So I wonder how Republicans think about him now, and how the Democrats think about him now. He's kind of defending Trump with his. It's like, will the Democrats start attacking him now for the stroke? And the Republicans are going, no, he's a good guy now. It's like, come on, people, you kind of need to pick one. It's,
that's hilarious. Kind of, knowing how the brain works and everything, maybe Fetterman's brain got corrected a little bit with that stroke.
Well, it could just be it's making new connections and everything like that. Because you
Yeah,
go through that,
exactly.
it has to make it has to make new
Your
connections
brain
and
has to
everything
make
like that.
entirely new connections, and
Yeah,
it can quite literally change the way that you think and the way that you act. So,
well,
you know,
I really don't know what his policies were before then or anything like that. But Pennsylvania, it is a more of a purple state, plain and simple.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so to be from there, to be a senator from there, you kind of have to be purple as well. You have to be
Yeah,
somewhat on the middle.
yeah. You
It's
have to be very close to the middle,
yep.
which unfortunately right now between the two is like the middle ground is a big wide area now.
Oh yeah, it's a very huge area actually, because both
Yeah.
sides have kind of gone extreme. So it's
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Let's see here, and then let's see here. Anything else domestically, or you got some international?
I've got some international stuff. Don't have anything more domestic.
Okay.
Uh, you heard about what happened in Australia back in 2023 with 323 vials of infectious diseases disappearing from a lab.
No, I did not hear about this one.
Yeah, they have no idea what happened to them. They just disappeared somehow. They went missing, is what they say. They think there's a possibility that they may have been incinerated, but that's just something that they're doing saying to cover their asses. There's basically no evidence that happened. But
Wow.
yeah, it's 323 vials of, and I mean it's all bad shit that can kill people. Some of them aren't diseases that can be transmitted human to human, so there's at least some benefit there, but 323 vials of these diseases that were being stored so that they could, study them later.
Right.
Like the HEPA virus was one of them.
Right.
I mean, this isn't good stuff. This is stuff that could that depending on who got their hands on it, it could go in a very bad way.
Oh yeah, completely.
There's a lot of people that think that China was involved. Mostly
well, of course,
because,
we're gonna blame China no matter what,
Well, not only that, but mostly because China took over that lab in 2023 or 2022, and they fired all of the personnel and brought their own personnel in.
Oh, okay.
And then within a year or two, 323 vials are missing, and they're not really cooperating with the government in investigating it.
Oops.
Yeah. So there's some people that are saying that China might be involved in it. I don't know. I don't think China has to go to that extreme to get those things. They've already got them all anyways.
Right.
So, but yeah, there's some people that are thinking that some people might be doing some research on them to try to gain a function them.
Well, aren't we all? Our governments. They seem to be.
Everybody's doing that. So
yeah, they seem to love that. So yeah, not a surprise. Not a surprise at all.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Let's see here.
The crazy thing for me though was that everything in the news report, everything that I've heard about it, was talking about how we need to beef up security in these places.
Right.
None of it was talking about we need to find this shit and find out where it went.
Maybe they already found it. They just don't want to tell us about it. That's
that could be. That could be.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
That
makes sense.
That is hilarious. Let's see here. Looks like the French, they still don't have a government. So because we talked about last time they were going to do the vote of no confidence. Well, yeah, they voted no confidence in the prime minister over there.
Nice.
So now, yeah, the president Macron, he is trying to seek a deal so he can appoint a new prime minister.
Okay.
So it's just pure craziness over there right now. Nobody really knows what's going on. They're
Yeah.
still trying to figure it out.
Yep.
But
Well,
yeah,
it's one of those things that happens when governments go so far out of touch with their people. It's you're going to end up with a short period without a government, like in Syria now. Syria has no government right now, and
well, that's
it's
a bit of a different situation. But
well,
yeah.
just a wee bit, but it was because the government was out of touch with their people. I mean, trying to kill them means that they're out of touch with their people.
Yeah, yeah. Generally, but
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. That place has been at war since what, Obama,
Oh
I
God,
think.
yeah. Well, if not earlier.
No, I think it was really Obama. It was one of the springs. Where
Yeah,
they were trying to get like the Ukraine spring and everything like that, trying to get everybody to
yep,
revolt. And we were
yep,
backing some people, and other people were backing other people. Russia was
yeah,
backing Assad.
yep,
Yeah, it looks like Assad fled to Russia, so he's in
yep,
Russia now.
yep. I saw
Uh,
that. Yep.
some people thought his plane went down, but apparently not. Maybe it was planned that way. I don't know. Maybe they just turned off the reporting back, the radio signal.
I wasn't surprised to me. I mean, they wanted to get him out of there quick, and they wanted nobody to know where he was going. So
Yep, yep.
it wouldn't surprise me if they turned their transponders off.
It would not surprise me at all. Yeah, so he's in Moscow with his family.
Yep.
So I heard one thing where he's going to open up a practice because he's an eye surgeon,
Oh, okay.
actually. So they, so I saw one. It might be a real story. I don't know because he's probably never going to be able to get back into Syria again.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
Uh,
absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, good for him. At least he's trying to plan for the future.
right, right. Yeah, it's yeah. I saw some things where it says, "Oh, there is torture in a basement and everything like that," and I'm like going,
Yep.
okay, well, show me a government that doesn't, and then I'll be
Oh yeah,
surprised.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
but it looks like the guy, the leader of the militants, his name is, it looks like Abu Muhammad al Golani. Apparently,
Hmm.
he was Al Qaeda and possibly ISIS as well, actually. So
It wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, and he was trained by us, of course, because he was Al Qaeda.
Of
So
course.
it
Yep.
was yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
At least that's what I hear. And then I saw some meme where it's the Defense Department is backing certain people, and then the CIA is backing others, and they're fighting each other over there. Which wouldn't surprise me, really. I could see that happening, but it's
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's because the Defense Department is more concerned about stability in the area,
uh
whereas the CIA, well, who knows what they're really concerned about?
well, same with the DoD. I don't know, but anyways, it was just a meme, so I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if that's real or anything like that. I just thought it was kind of a
Okay.
funny meme.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I have no clue if that was actually real or not. So.
Yeah. I saw an article about the come out of I don't know if the article was actually written in Germany or if it was just about Germany, where
Uh-huh.
they were taught where so I guess there's a lot of contention now within the German government about what to do. They're talking about possibly revoking the revoking the um shit, the when people flee from a country to escape stuff.
Asylum.
Yeah, asylum. They're talking about just removing the asylum seeking aspect from people from Syria now. So anyone with anyone with a Syrian passport would have to go back to Syria right away.
Ah,
And yet
okay.
there's other people that are saying, but they're the best workers we have. Their unemployment is so low. They work really hard. We don't want them to go. And so the government is now fighting over whether to ship the Syrians back to Syria or to basically let them become permanent residents in Germany now.
I can see that. I can see that. I think it's too early to say.
Yeah, you've got to wait. You at least got to wait until the new government is formed, because
Yeah,
I mean, you don't want to send somebody back that isn't that doesn't think the same way that the government does. And I mean, in that part of the world, if you don't think the same way that your government does, it's usually not a good thing for you.
yeah. But also, it's like which side will you fall on? Because
Yeah.
generally, Al Qaeda is considered more of a Sunni uh, sort of
Hmm.
organization, not a Shiite.
Yeah.
But the people in Syria, I can't remember the exact demographics, but I think they're more Shiite. But maybe I'm wrong.
I believe so.
I
I think you're right on that. I could be wrong too, though, but I think you're right on that.
and so if it's a
I
Sunni
think,
government, it could just cause
yeah.
problems.
Well, and
So
it's also, is the government going to be backed by Iran still? Is Iran still going to be getting involved in there like they try to in every other Middle Eastern country? I mean,
well, if it's Sunni,
Iraq
it
is
wouldn't.
basically a subsidiary. Well, yeah, I know, but that's you never know.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. They'd probably become more if it's more Sunni based. They'd probably be backed by Saudi Arabia and whatnot,
Yep,
because they're Sunni, and Jordan and whatnot. So
yep.
yeah.
Well, I've heard that Iraq has basically become kind of a lapdog for Iran now.
Well, right, because we got rid of their government,
Well,
and
yeah. I
so
mean, I know exactly why it happened. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's 100% our fault that that happened. I mean,
Well, yeah, Saddam Hussein didn't help himself though at all.
well, no, no,
Didn't help
but I
himself at
mean,
all.
but no, but I've never really understood why any country would want the U.S. to come in and help them do anything.
Yeah, I really don't either.
We have such a horrible record of helping to extent and then pulling out before they can actually protect themselves.
Yep, yep.
We go and we help some people, like in Afghanistan, we helped the tribes fight against and
that,
then we just kind of pulled away.
well, we were there for 20 years. If you can't get anything together
Yeah,
after 20 years,
yeah,
I'm sorry, you deserve what you get. It's,
yeah.
you
But I
know,
mean, we weren't exactly helping a lot of those tribes after even after a couple of years.
well, yeah,
We helped them to remove them from power, and then we basically just backed away and said, "Okay, you're on your own. We don't care what happens to you anymore."
that should have
And
always
that's
been our
just the way the
policy.
U.S. government works.
Well, we
Yeah,
should have always done that. We go in, you helped and sanctioned bin Laden. Okay, we're going to wipe you out. Okay, now we leave. We should have just left,
yep.
let them come back to pieces, build up from there. It's because
Well, the thing that I think we shouldn't do is I don't think that we should go in and destroy every semblance of government that's currently there. And I mean, while we don't want to, how to say this, I'm not saying that we should form a new government there, because that obviously doesn't work. I mean, look
does
at
not
Iraq.
work. Yep.
We were in Iraq so long because we were trying to form their government, and we just can't. We can't think the way that other people in the world think.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, we have a lot of differences.
Right.
So you can't, but I don't know. We get involved in so many government removal of powers and stuff like that. We help so many coups across the world just simply because
No, no,
one leader doesn't agree with
You,
us.
you said we help. No, we foment.
Well, yeah, yeah. We own and we cause the problem, and then we help
Yep.
solve the problem.
See, that's how it goes. We foment them, and then we
Yeah.
move on with our life. It's a
And in that way, I think it would be better if we were more of an isolationist country. in the aspect of, instead of us going out and making sure that every government out there, we try to make sure every government out there supports us. That's not the way it should work.
Right.
We should become more isolationist, and we should not enforce our opinions and our ideals on other people. However, we cannot be isolationist because we are part of the world. So we need to be there to do things, but we shouldn't foment the problems. We shouldn't go in and, like Haiti, we got so involved in Haiti because our banks were involved there. And the day that a government goes in to support the banking system that is causing havoc there, that's a pretty big problem, in my opinion.
Well, we're just a continuation of the British Empire, which was
the whole
absolutely.
thing. Not the British Empire. It was the French Empire.
No,
it was the French.
No, I'm talking that we are a continuation of the British Empire. Because World War I, they couldn't do anything. We lent them so much money, and so we basically took over. And then World War II cemented it in that we are the continuation of the British Empire in the actual power, not in who actually controls it, but we are the power of. They just handed it over to us, and I think it was agreed to that we would become, that our Navy would, instead of their Navy, would become the police of the world, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And the British, they've always been about the companies. It's like the British East India Company.
Oh, yeah.
That was an actual company.
Yeah.
That company is weird. It could actually declare war.
That company was more of a government than anything else.
I know, but it wasn't. It was actually technically a government.
It had no property, but it had no land of its own. It didn't have a capital, but it was essentially a government. It had its own army. It had everything. Yeah.
That was pure craziness.
In fact, they would claim islands in the Pacific for the East Indian Trading Company. When a company can start claiming islands, that's a little bit problematic.
Why not? Why not?
But then again, at the time, there really was no difference, because during that time, there were still a lot of kings. There's still a lot of monarchies. There were. There was, the world was basically controlled by 5 or 6 people, complete total.
Well, that's generally the world, and it always has been.
Absolutely. But unlike now, where you have bodies of government that have to make the decisions, when it was just one person, it didn't really matter if they had a title or not. The corporation, a company that had so much influence over the world, damn straight they're going to be able to do whatever they want to do. Nobody can stop them.
It's still that way now, And see, the thing is, it's like, I agree with you on what I think the U.S. government should do and everything like that. But to me, that is what I think the government should do. How I would actually do the government. Now, I don't know all the moving bits and pieces, and I understand that the government has to do certain things and everything like that. And the world did put us into this position. Now, we grabbed it, but they put us there at the same time, and then now they still want us there. It's like Europe doesn't want to spend all their money with a naval fleet patrolling the world, China, they're starting to expand, but they don't want to completely control the world. They want their section of the world right now, and we're butting heads over there. But in the whole world, they're not, so they still want us around for parts of it. And so it's like, how do you
without us? There's a lot more instability in the world,
right?
All over randomly. So any government wants stability and wants worldwide stability. How we achieve the worldwide stability is what's up for grabs.
Yep. And I don't think there's a good way to do it. I think if you're going to have power, no matter what, there's going to be winners, losers. And so I don't like everything that our government does, but I am also okay with it because, well, I don't have any better ideas and I don't know everything that's going on there. But what I do know is that here at the Mindless Meanderings, we are a value for value model podcast. This means that you guys can help us produce this podcast in all aspects of the show. You can send us ideas for topics. You could send us money so that we can actually keep this going. If you want to create a jingle or something like that, some sound effect or anything like that, that would be cool. Even little things like this. So just help us out. And if you have any ideas or want to share any information, or you just want to send us an email saying you rock or you suck, you can. You can email me at jesse@mindlessc.com. And you can email Jamin at Jamin, which is Jamon, at mindlessmeanderings.com. Mine's Jesse without an I. Some people always put I's in there for some reason. But anyways, most importantly, we need that money. Please send us the money. It'll help us keep going, and will actually make my wife happy. So that'd be nice. Just donate however much you think this podcast is worth to you. Could be $1, could be $500, could be a penny. I don't care. Just send us something. It'd be cool. And when you donate, you can also send us a short email that if you want us to read it on the air live, we will do that. And you can donate through our website, mindlessmeanderings.com, or through your favorite podcast app. So please, help us out. Help us out. Okay, Jamin, what else you got? Anything?
Well, I'm down to one more topic.
Okay.
I was perusing through X and came across an article from a guy from the UK. He spent 10 days in the US for business and discovered that the ocean between us isn't water, it's mindset.
Okay.
And so he listed 7 uncomfortable truths about the US versus UK culture.
Okay, let's hear these.
Okay, so one of them is Americans freely discuss salary, deals, and revenue, whereas Brits are guarded and awkward on money matters.
Yeah, and guess who gets paid more? We do.
Probably Americans, yeah. US.
Oh, no, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
number two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 was the belief in possibility. In America, you discuss big plans in America, and the question is, why not?
Yep.
Whereas if you discuss big plans in the UK, the question is, why bother? Okay.
I can see that.
Number 3 is the rising tide mentality. Americans celebrate wins with genuine infectious enthusiasm. It's all let's go, high fives and celebrations.
Yep.
The Brits tut, cringe, and with impotent envy and think, who does he think he is?
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
Number 4, the learning focus. Every win shared triggered rapid fire questions. What worked? How'd you do it? Can you teach me? This is in the US. If somebody does something successful, everybody's asking him, show us how to do this. What did you do? What worked? How can we take advantage of this and build ourselves up?
Well, yeah, we made a whole industry of it. The self-help books, and everything like that. Yeah. It's a whole industry. Yeah.
Yep. And the Brits, instead of asking those questions, they suspect it.
You're dodgy.
Yep.
Okay.
Number 5 is risk tolerance. Failure in America's proof you took a big swing and missed.
Right.
This time.
Yep.
So you will try again because you got to. You got to keep on working at it. In the UK, it's a generational stain we try scrubbing off quietly behind closed doors. Okay. I don't know that part of their culture, but yeah, I can see it. And this part of it actually kind of amused me. And he wrote, "No wonder America scales while Britain stagnates.
Uh-huh.
All 6 of the most valuable companies in the U.S., all of which are worth more than $1 trillion, have been created in the last 50 years.
Yep.
By contrast, no European company valued at more than 100 billion has been started within the last 50 years. Every
Huh.
company that's big over there is an old, ancient company."
Interesting.
Yeah. I read that. I'm like, holy crap, that's interesting.
USA.
That proves a
USA.
complete mindset difference. Yeah.
No, yeah. No,
Number 6, the speed of execution.
uh-huh.
In the US, let's make it happen. Jump on a call, refer through networks, action first mentality.
Yep.
In the UK, let's be realistic. Let's list all the problems first, worst case scenarios, every reason not to try.
Okay. Well, in my head, I'm more British in that one because I always think of.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Yep.
okay,
Same here.
Yeah.
Number 7, follow the money.
Uh-huh.
Britain will lose nearly 10,000 millionaires this year, while the U.S. forecasts to gain nearly 4,000.
How? How are they going to lose
Capital
that?
flow, because they resent millionaires there. They resent people that have money.
But they love the nobles. It just doesn't make sense. How do you think those nobles got to be where they are?
Oh, I know.
Well, not the nobles themselves. It is their family. There is somebody that decided to chop off heads and take land.
I think that's one of the biggest things that people don't realize about a lot of places where nobility has been enshrined for so long.
Uh-huh.
Is that people respect people. It's like I read an article a long time ago about the differences in the mentality of people from England and people from here, and it got me to think that the reason that people in Europe and in the UK and stuff like that, the reason that they're okay with like the government run health cares and the government telling them what to do and how to do things, is because all the way back to when monarchy existed, they were always the serfs. There was always the government telling them how to do everything.
Right.
And so they just adopted that mindset of following what the government tells you to do. And so they have massive respect for the government. But anyone that tries to step out and make something of themselves, they find suspect, so they denigrate them.
I could see that. You know, I get used to the new kid slogan, sus. They're sus.
Yeah. I am not good with those words. I am not good with those things.
My kids have been throwing them around a lot. It's like sus and gyat and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
So those are the 7 differences that he found in the business world.
I could see that. Yeah, the business world. Yeah, it's cutthroat. It's like, why not? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
You know, there's not. It's a lot of what American companies have done has been illegal, like Uber and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Where they just go in, disrupt it's just disruption is what it is. It's like going, well, stop us if you can. You know, it's that sort of mentality.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, you know, that whole just do it, go for it thing. That's why I decided to get involved with this podcast.
Right.
I mean, you called me up, and I was like, yeah, that could be fun. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, why not? What's the worst that can happen? You know, it's
exactly.
Yep.
The worst that can happen is nobody listens to us, and we stop recording after after a while.
Yeah, but if we even stop, who knows? Yeah.
Honestly, as much as I've been enjoying this, I wouldn't want to stop even if nobody did listen. I'm enjoying this too much.
Please keep listening, and
please do listen. Yes,
let everybody know.
We do need you to listen and help us out, but
well, please let everybody know about it. Yeah, spread the word. Exactly. Okay, so let's get on to. I got some other topics here. Let's some science and whatnot. Okay, so let's start with the ozone hole, ozone layer, and everything like that. So,
oh yeah,
you remember the ozone hole, right?
Oh, I remember hearing about that in the early '90s. How the holes in the ozone were growing and all that other crap.
Yeah, yep. And well, it was like just a while ago. I thought that I had seen something that. Yeah. Here it is. The ozone hole closed. This was back in 2021. And then today or a couple days ago, they came up with this thing where NASA reported that this fall that the mean ozone hole from September 7th to October 13th was once again 23 million square miles or square kilometers. So this was the same level that it's been in the last 3 decades, stretching back to 1994. So the hole has remained large, and this is even getting rid of what is it? What were those called? The FFC, CC? I can't remember. The hydro... HFCs. HFCs.
The
HFCs.
The CFCs, wasn't it?
No, HFCs. High fluoral... whatever, I think. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. But yeah, even after getting rid of that and hairsprays and everything...
Since I've heard about them.
CFCs. There we go. CFCs.
CFCs. Like I said...
Yeah, we'll fix all that mistake later, right? Yeah. But yeah, CFCs. So, yeah, even though they got rid of those and everything like that, they still have... We're still up there with everything else. There's not... world consumption has dropped to like nil, but... The hole has actually remained the same. There are massive drops up and down and everything like that, but it still is the same. So
it fluctuates. I mean, I honestly think that it's. I mean, I don't know a lot of the science behind it. I don't know exactly what it does, but I think that it's something that needs to be there. Maybe it's what prevents the greenhouse effect from happening.
Who knows? Who knows?
It lets everything escape. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I have no clue. It's just part of. It's like humanity started worrying about it once we could actually measure it. is from my understanding how it always goes. Yeah. It's like. We don't know how long this thing has been there. I
remember the stories, though, talking about how the ozone layer is depleting, which means we're not going to be protected from any of the space radiation anymore.
Do you remember this cartoon?
In 20 years, the Earth is going to be so radiated we can't survive.
Yep. I remember a sheet I got in like elementary school or junior high or something like that, but it was like what life was going to be like in... I think it was like 99 or something like that. And it was like, robot teachers. And you won't be able to go outside because of the sun and everything like that. Yeah.
You'll have to wear anti-radiation gear to go outside. I remember that stuff. Yeah, it's been so long since I thought about any of that.
Yeah, it has been a while, but yeah, I've found that funny, that article funny, to know that the ozone hole is still there. So yeah, let's see here, and then I ran across this meme. It had different headlines about climate change, and they were kind of funny. Okay. It was like, let's see. So some of these were: moose eat so much they may be worsening climate change. Beavers are accelerating climate change in Alaska. Toilet paper is driving the climate crisis with every flush. Culling feral buffalo for carbon credits. Win-win or waste. So, yeah, let's get rid of buffalo, just like we did back in the day. Get a Gatling gun on a train and just like we used to. Let's see. The link between obesity and climate change.
Why do they always try to tie things like that together? I mean,
I don't know.
especially obesity. Obesity has absolutely nothing to do with climate change. The
Well,
only way that obesity will ever have anything to do with climate change is if it gets so freaking hot, or gets so, or if the air has so few, um, um, shit. Today is not a good day for me. My
apparently not.
mind
Your
just
brain's
draws
going.
blanks on my mind is drawing blanks on simple things.
Uh,
Carbon dioxide. I couldn't freaking think of carbon dioxide when I was saying this.
it
What the
happens.
hell's
It
going on?
happens.
I think
Yeah,
I need to get my brain scanned. But
probably so.
so if the planet loses much more carbon dioxide, we get below the point where plant life can't survive anymore, and then obesity will eventually go away.
Yeah, it's perfect then. Perfect then. Let's see
Yeah.
here. Oh,
That
let's
should be
see.
our defense against obesity. Lower carbon dioxide so much that no plants can survive.
Yeah, that's RFK Jr.'s new plan. I bet it is. Let's see here. Along climate change. So, in Denmark, the ancestral home of us freezes.
Yep.
They have actually they tried to put out a job. The government put out a job, and we're giving offshore. It was the largest ever offshore wind tender. So basically, they were asking people to build a big wind farm off of Denmark. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody took it up. Not a single person. There was not one bid on this sucker because it's gotten to the point where everybody knows it's a waste of money because it's way too
Yeah.
expensive to have it and to keep it going. It is just a
Yep.
massive drain of all resources.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there goes that plan. Maybe let's go back to nuclear or something like that. Something that's actually feasible. Would probably
Yep.
be a good plan. Because yeah, I don't mind going for zero
I,
emissions, but
oh yeah. Yeah. No. I was watching a video last night to see if there was anything interesting in the tech world,
uh-huh.
and they were, it was talking about like a whole bunch, it's just listing a bunch of things about what's coming or what is already here and stuff like that, and they were talking about fusion nuclear energy, which is what would really be sweet to get,
Right,
because it has basically no negative sides to it, because the
right.
radiation created is a very short-lived radiation.
Yep.
And I found it so amusing because they're like, and if we get fusion reactions, then we can use it to supplement the solar and the wind energy. Like, why the hell would you supplement solar and wind with nuclear fusion?
Yeah,
One
that's
fusion reactor replaces every single solar plant and wind plant in the country.
yeah,
One
it would.
reactor.
Yep, yeah, you wouldn't need it. You wouldn't need it.
Why would you use it to supplement?
You would have to have backup systems just in case that plant went down for whatever reason.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, you'd be good to go. You would be good to go.
yeah. I'm like, oh my god, that just shows how insane they've gotten, that they think that fusion would supplement a horrible energy source. When
Yeah.
if we could utilize the energy source properly, solar could be a great energy source,
Yep.
but we don't have the ability to utilize it.
Well, they're starting to try a system where they beam electricity down. So it's basically, I don't know how exactly it works, but basically they have a satellite up there that captures
Yeah.
the
Yep.
energy, and then it transmits that energy somehow down to Earth. Now, I wouldn't want to get into that beam because I don't know what that would
Oh
be.
yeah, no. Yeah.
But that's a very interesting idea
It's
too.
probably laser or something like that.
No
I
clue.
could see. Yeah, there's a lot of theory on being able to do stuff like that, and that would be interesting, and wouldn't be that horribly bad to be able to capture the energy up in space. Because the problem that I have with solar right now is, like, the big solar farms down in Texas, where the hail destroys them, and you've suddenly got all this crap leaking out and destroying the land and everything.
Well, that just happened in
Putting
the UK. Actually,
horrible chemicals.
there
Yeah.
was a huge windstorm that knocked out like a huge field of
Yep.
solar panels. I don't know how they have solar panels in the UK because it's just cloudy there all the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I was kind of more surprised that they had solar panels personally than
Yeah.
anything else. But
Yep.
what can you do? So
Yeah.
let's see here.
And
Uh-huh.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to change topics so we can get going. So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so let's see here. So they found a stone tablet in Georgia, the country, not the state.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this tablet goes back to about 14,000 years ago. So this like
Okay.
predates like cuneiform or anything like that, like the oldest known writing that we know of. And they're just strange symbols. Nobody knows what they mean. And they don't know what language it's for or anything like that. It's just a stone tablet.
Okay.
It looks pretty clean, almost too clean in my. When I look at it, you're going. I can actually see these things. A lot of the time when you come across these things, you can't really decipher much of anything, and then they go, "No, you can see the shape here and everything like that."
So much.
Yeah. This one is almost pristine, dude. It really is. So I'm like going, eh. But yeah, it says there's similarities to scripts found in India, Egypt, and Spain. But yeah, it's not for a recorded language or anything like that. So that it's interesting. If it's real, they dated it. They dated it back to 14,000 years ago, which is that's like before civilization, practically. So
I've always suspected the carbon dating too. I mean, I've heard too many stories of people going in and saying we found it in what we think is this time frame, and so that's when they carbon date it to.
Right.
And I've heard of people that have gone in and given them the different era that they thought that they had found it in. Like, they found it like in, say, like 5,000 years ago, but they'll say we found it in the area that should be about 20,000 years ago, and it'll carbon date to 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Instead of the 5,000 that they actually found it in.
Yeah. It's hard to say. But yeah, it's But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I like that sort of history and everything like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that's. Oh, I have one other story. Well, first off, let's talk about so Alex Jones.
Yep.
And everything like that. They were trying to. The Onion was trying to buy Infowars.
Yeah.
Yeah. The judge just blocked that completely. The federal judge said, "Yeah, that didn't maximize the amount of money that you could actually win." So
right.
Yeah, which only makes sense because that was a bit hinky using the people that were trying to get the money to pay the money. I thought that was kind of funny. So.
Well, not only that, but I did follow that story a little bit, and. Before the bid, they decided that instead of doing an auction style bid, they were going to do a silent auction where you put in a bid silently, and they take the highest bidder.
Right.
But before the auction actually started, they were already reporting how much the company that he was affiliated with was going to be bidding.
Yep. It was all hinky. It really was.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much bad stuff going on in there, and then the decision that they didn't have to take the highest bidder. Hey, if you're auctioning something off and it's all about getting the money, why would you put a stipulation in there that you don't have to take the highest bid?
Yeah. They should have. See, the problem is that for these people, they wanted to shut him down. I don't think they cared about the money.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't. Not at all.
But when you sue for monetary damage, that is the only thing that you can get.
Yeah.
So somebody that is friendly towards Alex Jones, which is fine to me, they can buy Infowars and then put him on the air. It's a valid thing to do. So it's
Well, I mean, if they can even go so far as to buy InfoWars and then gift it back to him.
Yeah, but then you could say, well, you need to sell it again. See, that's the problem with that because he is owed.
Well,
they are owed.
And only if the money that was bid is less than is owed.
If well, yeah, because it's billions. Owed, it's like $1 billion or something like that. It's only going to be sold for a few million. So yeah, it's gonna. It's
okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so you wouldn't give it back to him. You'd retain ownership and just put him on the air.
Yep, that's what I figured.
Yeah,
that's what I figured.
Yep.
Okay, so to end on a light note here, so you know all those. A lot of people sometimes raise kids that aren't their own, even though they think they're their own. You know.
Yes.
So apparently they did a study and whatnot. They worked it out that it only happens 1 in 100 times. So only 1% of men are actually raising a kid that is not their own. I think that's really low. I thought it was higher than that personally, but you know,
yeah. If you watch the media, if you watch anything, you know, Jerry Springer show, there's so many things out there that like it's got to be at least 50%. I mean, god damn.
The Maury Povich show that one had how many? I can't even remember. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. Yeah, it's only 1%, 1 out of 100, actually are raising kids that are not their own. I think that's a good thing out there.
Well, that's yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, much better than I thought, at least. So you know, there you go.
That reminds me of something else that I saw. There's right now they're trying to create artificial wombs for babies. The reason that they're doing it is for preemies, for children for babies that are born even before viability. If a child is going to be born, if they have to remove the child for like health of the mother or something like that, then they're trying to develop something where they could still put the child into this artificial womb. They took it too far though. This thing that I was watching, it was that same tech thing. They were saying that soon we'll have warehouses full of these wombs, and women won't actually have to give birth to their own children anymore. So it'll get rid of the need for abortions because it won't be the woman's body anymore.
Got it. Yeah, it's going straight into the Matrix. Perfect.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. That's exactly where they were going with it.
And on that note, thank you for joining us for episode number 15 of the Mindless Meandering podcast. I'm Jesse Fries.
And I'm Jamin Fries.
And you guys have a great week.